Because without the pumpkin, I personally think none of us, as people, would be here right now.
This is the same speech.
Because, I'm sorry, but I must. Because, long ago, when our settlers first came over from England, they had no food. They had winters.
Are you videotaping this?
Now you're making me laugh. They could not get through without the magic of the pumpkin.
The magic of the
Pumpkins
pumpkin.
can last 3 to 5 months, Dan. 3 to 5 months without being carved.
Oh, man.
So they had to stock up on pumpkins in order to get through the harsh winters, because this is all they had. All they had, because that's the
Are you
magic
doing
of the
this just
harvest.
for Franklin?
I'm doing this just for Franklin, for all of us, to appreciate the magic of the pumpkin, because pumpkins are the difference between life and death. Before corn... Now you're making me laugh.
Where does Squanto come in all this?
Alright, I'm done. I can't stop
I
laughing.
want to finish it.
Wait, I want to hear. I want to hear a
Finish the
new
speech.
part of it.
Did you know Illinois farmers grow more pumpkins than anywhere else in the world?
I did know that. I
More
want to hear
than
something else.
90% of pumpkins.
I want to know something
More
else.
than 90% of pumpkins. Alright, I'll tell you something else. More than 90% of pumpkins
Calm
used in
down.
the
I'm
world
trying to listen here.
are grown in Morton, Illinois, the pumpkin capital of the world. And long before corn, which is supposed to be the magic plant that Indians created, we had pumpkins. Maize. Before maize, we had these pumpkins. And this is how we got through the harsh winters. We didn't have luxurious Burger Boss and Johnny's and
You
all
are
this
your
stuff.
dad's son.
I mean, in 2012,
Goodbye.
in 2012, we have choices. That's what separates us from the people of the past. Is we have choices, but they had to live. You know what I mean? Like, if we should know this better than anyone. Our ancestors, our Jewish ancestors, thousands of years ago, we had to rely
Your
on
Jewish
whatever
ancestors.
was available.
My Jewish
to us.
ancestors.
But I'm serious.
I bet you didn't
And
know.
pumpkins.
You have Jewish
Pumpkins were all
I didn't know I was English
available to
either.
early American settlers was pumpkins, so they knew the magic of the pumpkin. They could last 3 to 5 months. So that's why today, out of all days, on All Hallows Eve, we honor the magic of the pumpkin. Which, without the magic of the pumpkin, all of us and our ancestors wouldn't be alive, because that is what helped us
I
survive
heard-
throughout the winter. So
I heard that Moses ate pumpkins in the desert.
possibly, no, actually not at
That
all.
was manna.
But at the same
Man,
time,
now.
Are pumpkins a New World
Man.
fruit?
they are New
Goodness.
World fruit. But that's what happens when we came over on the
Is that how
Mayflower.
you
That's all we had was pumpkins. We had nothing else. So that's why I do this feast in honor of the great pumpkin, of the pumpkin that led us,
It
our
was-
ancestors,
it was-
into
it
into-
tasted
About
like anything you
Illinois
wanted
being the
to, right?
pumpkin capital of the world.
Illinois is the greatest pumpkin place in the world, and I'll tell you why. Because in Morton, Illinois, there's more pumpkins processed, more pumpkin pies, more pumpkin
They
raviolis
showed some
anything.
Some different facts.
than anywhere else. Because everywhere else got hurricanes and everything. Morton, Illinois is now, did you guys know that when Native Americans first came here, they developed a great way to grow pumpkins? This method is called the Three Sisters. They planted 3 crops at the same time in order to assure that all plants work together, that also the soil worked together. They planted 3 crops. They planted corn, beans, and pumpkins all together in one place. They called them Three Sisters because the plants worked together. The corn grew sturdy and supported the bean plant that grew twisted around the corn stalk. The bean plant added nitrogen to the soil that helped the corn plant grow, and the pumpkin provided a ground cover of shade that helped the soil stay moist. Therefore, it's called the Three Sisters, because like a family, they all work together, like a symbiotic relationship. They grew
Today I
together.
learned.
We
Yes.
might plant some of that in our own backyard.
That's true.
It's
You
got
get-
some of the richest soil in the United States here in Illinois.
It's true. The Midwest, that's why Forest Home Cemetery, it's one of the highest, it's above sea level. You know, that's why we're able to bury everybody the same. So that's why I give thanks to the great pumpkin, because without the magic of the pumpkin, I personally, this is me speaking, not anybody else, Sean Bernard speaking, without the pumpkin, I don't think any of us as people would be here right now. Because without the pumpkin, this land wouldn't have been proper to settle. Our ancestors that came here, you know, hundreds of years ago, would say, hey, there's no pumpkins, there's no food, what am I doing here? Let's go back to Europe.
And it's because of the land
Because
here
of the
that we
land
settled here.
That we were able to harness the great
And where
landscapes
does
of the
the
pumpkin.
smelly
So
onion
cheers.
come into play?
Cheers.
To the
Oh,
pumpkin.
Chicago.
Stinking onions.
So,
the pumpkin.
cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the pumpkin.
To the pumpkin.
In Ireland,
Here.
in Ireland, the original festival of Halloween was called Samhain. Now, in Samhain, they didn't have pumpkins in Ireland. They had turnips. Now, they carved turnips and put them in their windows to scare away evil spirits.
You got this from Wikipedia,
Called
didn't
them
you?
jack-o'-lanterns. No, I'm serious. It's right here. It's
Is that,
in this.
is that
It's in this
the newsletter
newsletter.
from last year?
No, it's from 2 years ago. How about that? Now,
Winston's Pumpkin Farm.
jack-o'-lanterns started centuries ago in Ireland. People carved frightening faces into turnips, put a candle in them, and placed them in their windows to scare away an evil ghost. The ghost was called Jack of the Lantern. So that's why they call them jack-o'-lanterns. And that's all I have to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean.
We can put it over your face, Sean, like a real
Oh,
Sean.
Sean, you love. I thank you all for attending the 3rd annual Pumpkin Feast. It gets more ceremony each year. I personally hate Thanksgiving, so thank you. This is my own
I
personal
want
version of
I want a
Thanksgiving.
new script next year.
So thank
I
you.
vote for a new script too.
You'll learn new things every year, but did you know that before?
No,
I think I
didn't.
did.
But did you appreciate the significance of the pumpkin in later years? So now let's carve up this pie and have a great feast. How about that?
Yay!
Yay!
If
Woo!
anyone wants anything else, let me know, and I will do my best as a host to serve it to you.
You're-